Good afternoon and welcome to CompanyRoots. Today we're interviewing Mr. Vimal Kumar, the founder of Movement for Scavenger Community, which is an organization committed to ending manual scavenging in India by boosting the education of the current scavenger community. In doing this, MSC is looking to eradicate caste violence and prejudice.
Mr. Kumar is also a certified next generation leader from the McCain Institute and has also been an Acumen Indian Fellow since 2015. It is a privilege and we are truly honored to interview you today. My name is Raul Kaworu. I'm a rising junior at St. Paul's School in New Hampshire, and I'm the president of CompanyRoots.
And my name is Suresh Shasti. I'm a rising freshman at the Wharton School. I'm from Homedale, New Jersey, and I'm the founder of CompanyRoots. So the first question that we would always like to ask is kind of play on our name. What are your company roots, and how did they help you in shaping the person you are and the ideas that you have today?
Yeah, great question. So actually, I'm leading a movement, and movement is also leading me in this way. Yeah. So I started with the idea, to work for my own people where I born in India. I born and raised in a slum of sanitation workers. And then I saw, my childhood friends, they are just, dying in the sewage halls. They are in the same occupation and facing caste discrimination there. So I decided to continue my journey with that by providing education in my own hamlet where I born. That was the idea behind that, the movement, and I started that. And I learned a lot by working, by leading this movement. And movement has also changed many things in me, and I also changed many things in the society. Yeah.
Right. So for everyone to be successful, we all know that there is a great role model behind them. So who is your inspiration and mentor for your success, and how did they impact you and develop your social impact roots?
Yeah, I started my ideas by the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in India, was the person behind the Constitution of India.
Yeah.
But my journey is the mixture of many people. I met around many people around the world and I learned from the sanitation workers. I learned from the barbers. I learned from the restaurant owners. I learned from this world. Actually, there are many people behind my journey, and I'm still learning. So I can't say a single name for that. But I started my journey with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as inspiration. Yeah.
And it's interesting. I'm pretty sure when Rahul and I were going through India, we saw pictures of him like in the schools. They painted him in him, Gandhi. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw your video on the Acumen YouTube page, which recounts your childhood experiences when you had the vision to help others like yourself. So ultimately, what are your hopes and visions for the scavenger community as they increase their education through MSc?
Yeah, it's very simple. I want schools to treat the children equally in the schools, because I treated unequal in my school, and I have a very bad, childhood memories.
Right.
So I don't want to give the same memories to the next generation, to the children, for them. They should treat equally in the schools. That is my vision for that, for everyone, not only for the sanitation worker. I think everyone deserve equality and respect in their life. Yeah,
of course,
definitely.
And so your movement, what it does is it tries to focus on education. So if the education system right now in India is inherently unequal through the caste system and things like that, how are you looking to change that?
Yeah, actually, education is a different for me. I am also looking leadership on that. If we are simply studying books and just clearing exam and getting good marks, this is not enough. This is not enough. We need a character, and we need a character-driven leadership in education.
Right.
As you are doing, you're also a student. There are thousands of students in this world, but you are doing something different through this education. You are using your education in a different way. So I want I want to develop the leadership, a character-driven leadership with the education, because ultimately, what are you going to do with this education? You are just going to get a job. If this is the ultimate goal of the education, then this is not good. Yeah. So how we are going to pay back to the society after getting this education? So I want to, I'm working on that.
Yeah. So what specific practices does MSc employ to, really develop and cultivate leadership within its students?
Yeah, it's very simple thing. Whenever we are people in the ghettos, in the slums, most of the people have complaints to the government, to the system.
Right.
So we are introducing the self-help system.
Hmm.
Whatever we have resources, whatever we have in our ghettos, in our slum, let's use that and help each other and develop that system, of brotherhood or sisterhood in the society. So that is how, like, we have students, in the college students, they are helping school going children. We
Hmm.
have school going children, they are helping children, kids,
Yeah.
school going kids. So we are helping each other. So I think this is a great practice of leadership, when we are helping each other and learning from each other.
Right.
Yeah, this is how we are working.
Right.
So you have been certified from the McCain Institute and have received a PhD in social work with the focus on caste violence from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences. So how exactly are you leveraging this education to scale your own impact?
Yeah, I think education. The first of all, I'm going to get the PhD. It's in process,
Mhm.
and I hope I will get it within 2 months. I will get my PhD. Yeah, and the reason behind that, why I'm doing that, because first, in case of PhD, uh, I have many experiences, stories from the field. You know, so I'm writing these experiences, this real problem, in my research,
Mhm.
in my PhD. I want to make it visible, to tell in a research scientific way how
Mhm.
this works happen in that, because these are not just stories. This is the realities.
Right.
And I also want to give the message to the people, those are struggling, those are born the same ghettos like me. They can also achieve that. They can also do that.
Mhm.
And I'm always ready to help them, in their journey. So this is possible. This is possible. If I can do, then anyone can do.
Mhm.
And I want to share one more thing. I never get first division in my education. I never got first division. I always the average student. If a average student like me can do that, I
Yeah.
think everyone can do that. People are better than me. Yes.
I mean, I think hard work goes a long way, and having, a vision, it goes a long way in overall success. So definitely.
Yeah.
Um, so kind of on a personal note, um, you also operate the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Youth Study Center under MSc, and you provide career counseling to disadvantaged students in Haryana, India. We both are leading a new initiative with a similar mission, and we call it Ultra Education. And we provide college counseling to underserved and predominantly African American communities. So, can you share some of your experiences within this operation that could come in use?
Yeah, actually, the first thing, the caste system, this oppression, what
Mhm.
it gives, it creates hopelessness in the people,
Yeah,
actually. And our centers, provides the hope in the community. We give hope,
right.
and we go and sit with them. We have teachers there. We have after school program for the school going children, and also the career counseling program. So we help them to, you know tell, how to get admission into higher education,
Hmm.
how to achieve that, because they can't even think about getting education in a good university. They always trying to get education through the distance mode, work from, online courses. They think the cheaper always.
Yeah,
So we are helping them to how to get the admission into good university. You can also go there. We just need hard work for that, and we are helping them. And many people just got admission in Tata Institute by following me
hmm,
in that. And then when they complete their studies and then they go back to their ghetto again, then more people, encouraged to do that, because they said, oh, if my neighbor can do that, I can also do that. So we are putting the seeds of hope in the ghettos. This is the idea behind the our community resource centers.
right. So, how would you say, you know, for an average student in the ghettos, how would you say the process is different there than it is for a regular student who's like able to afford it in general?
Yeah. First, actually, usually I believe in natural capacity of people. I don't go with the idea of you are going to be engineer. I usually ask people what you want to do,
Right.
you know. what is your capacity? I usually ask them, and I encourage them, to do that. Some people are good in singing, some
Yeah.
people are good in dance, some are good artists. And why we need more engineers if we have artists,
Yeah.
you know so we encourage them to, whatever they want to be in their life, so we are helping them to do that actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So actually they are telling me what is the need of the people. We are not telling them what is the need. They are telling us, and we are helping them.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what process do you go through when hiring MSC's youth social activists? And what specific skills do you look for? And what is this overall organization culture you're trying to create?
Yeah, we usually start with the volunteer work. We don't choose directly, from the field people. You are the fellow from our organization. We usually give them volunteer work, and those are already engaged. Those are working with the heart, helping the people.
Yeah.
So they can be our fellows. They can be our fellows. So we support them.
Right.
So there's no education criteria. You should be a graduate, or you should be good in English, or like that.
Hmm.
If a person with a good heart trying to do something with the community, so they are our fellows. So we help them. We
Right.
select them actually. Yeah, this is the process.
And
Definitely.
how do you at MSC measure your impact?
I think it's I am not a quantitative person. My research is also qualitative.
Right.
So I measure the impact through the success stories from the field.
Right.
Yeah, I can collect a lot of data. I can tell we, help 1,000 students in a year, or 10,000 students in a year. The
Yeah.
data is different, but I don't measure them. I believe in the, success stories from the field.
Right.
So, for example, last month what happened? One of our fellows, she is in Himachal Pradesh,
Hmm.
and she was a sanitation worker. She cleans toilets in the houses. No, it's that not a government job; it's a private job.
Hmm.
And she become our fellow, and we encourage her to, leave this job and do something good.
Hmm.
So recently, last month she started a stationery shop, close to the center.
Yeah.
And she sent me a video on my mobile, and I said, "What is that?" And she said, the video of this shop is this is my shop, and I'm going to provide books, pencil, and pens to the children of our community here,
Yeah.
in a discounted rate, and
Hmm.
it's easy to access them. So it's a two-way changes. She left her job as a sanitation worker, and she more engaged in education, you know
Yeah.
so this is the change, this is the impact for me.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you have been an Acumen Indian Fellow since 2015. So, what exactly was the process like in attaining this position, and how have they helped you with all of your endeavors?
I think, before 2015, I should say, I was working with my people only, in my ghettos, in my caste people, all over caste people. I was like disconnected with the mainstream before that.
Hmm.
So in 2015, when I joined Acumen Fellows, I met different leaders from the community,
Yeah.
from India, different caste, different religion, different ideas, different gender, you know, and that was the, great moment for my life when I joined them, and I learned a lot of things from them. And they also learned more about, our problems,
Right.
the problem of our caste. And then I joined a bigger community actually. After that, I become a part of a global community after that. So that was the change. I changed many things in my personality, in my work, in my ideas, and people also changed their point of view to look at us that time.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think something that I read in Manifesto for a More Revolution talks about your your conversation with one of her investors at Acumen, I believe. She made
Mm.
everybody go on a walk, and then you were telling about your passions, and at the end, the other person had to explain it to everybody, and he was just as fiery about it, and he knew like he was very passionate about it too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a great moment. We had that conversation in Mumbai,
Hmm.
and that was just like a 45-minute conversation. Both of us, we shared our stories about our life, and after that, many things changed in the conversation.
Yeah.
because he's a big personality in US. He's a professor in New York.
Yeah.
So because he never heard these stories from a person directly.
Yeah.
Maybe people read in the books, but when you meet someone who will really experience these things in their life, that is totally different for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
He totally changed, and I also changed. Why my stories, my reality is important to people. Why this is important to tell the people. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the connection. Yeah, that was a great moment of my life.
Hmm. So there's one more experience that I would like you to describe. So in there, Jacqueline Novogratz told us a story about understanding, especially across different cultures. So it kind of ties in with the global community you were talking about. So she narrated about how you waited outside a coffee shop in Mumbai and how her experience hearing your story and witnessing your entrepreneurial spirit really gave her an important lesson in understanding the notion of privilege. So,
Mhm,
how would you describe this experience and how do you think you have shaped other people?
mhm, mhm, mhm. I think, yeah, that time was my struggling time. In the life, Mumbai, empty pocket. You are just a student, and you have to take care of your family. You have to manage many things. Mumbai is so expensive. You
Hmm.
know, you know for that.
Yeah,
So every day, we have to think about before eating something. You know, so
definitely.
that was totally different. And when I met Jacqueline and meeting Jacqueline at that time, when you are living in extreme poverty in your life and meeting with the founder of a very international organization,
Yeah,
that was a huge responsibility for me as well, to represent my community in
right.
a perfect way, in a good way, you know. So, and I was not prepared for that, meeting for a big shot like that.
Yeah.
But thing is that the time is changed. Now it is to 2020. I'm in Washington D.C.
Hmm.
So now people are looking at me as the same person maybe when I was looking at towards the Jacqueline. You
Yeah,
know, now this is my responsibility to listen their stories and to stand with them to help them.
right.
Yeah.
definitely. So the recent Black Lives Matter movement has resulted in several protests and in some cases rioting across the nation. So Novogratz said that in your former days, you organized a riot with some measures of violence against a satellite TV company that did not provide their product to your specific caste. So to
Hmm.
those who are unsure about the nature of rioting and violence, what do you have to say about that?
I think that was the I was young, that time I was student. I
Yeah,
was student in a school that time I did, but I'm I'm not good. I'm not going to do it now
yeah,
because my mission is not only to get a cable connection from a satellite company.
yeah,
My mission is system change
right.
now.
Dramatic change.
you know yeah. So I am changing the system,
Right.
and for changing the system you have to be the part of system. I believe on that,
Definitely.
because if you are just staying outside and criticizing them, then it will not work, because they are powerful and you are powerless till now. So we have to be, if for example, my focus is education. So if I want to change education system, I have to be in academic.
Right.
you know I
Yeah.
can write, because if before 2015 if I'm writing something in the newspaper, that is just a story of an ordinary man written by. But now if I write something, this is a research academic article. you
Yeah.
know Academic research papers, people are citing my papers around the world. Recently the UN women also cite my paper
Oh,
on the issues of that. So this is the change.
yeah.
We have to do it in a very systematic way, as Dr. B.R. Ambedkar did.
Right.
you know he also entered in the system and become the first law minister of India, and he helped in the writing constitution. So
Right.
he's changed the whole system that time. So I'm on the same way. I'm
Right.
on the same way. Yeah.
So in the recent Black Lives Matter movement, like you've seen it, of course, on TV, I'm sure, and especially since you're in DC, there's a very impactful Black community there. How would you, what is your opinion on the rioting right now, and how would you approach trying to make systematic change within the U.S. from your experiences here?
Yeah. I think there's a very popular slogan nowadays: no justice, no peace.
Hmm.
So I think, when we have to be the system, but if system is totally corrupt, there is no hope in the system,
Yeah.
then, then people can't wait for that. They will react.
Yeah.
They will react because it's the same thing, when I was a student and I just, and tackled with that satellite TV, because that time I was hopeless in the system.
Right.
I was hopeless. That's why I just, behave differently.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in my case in future, if I become hopeless in my life, and I will also do the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there is nothing wrong in that. This is
Yeah.
right.
Definitely.
Because if someone is, uh, if someone is available to listen you without using earphone, you can speak, and you can't speak, you have to shout.
Yeah.
You
And
have to shout, then only they can listen you
yeah.
know so it's always different, and there is nothing right or wrong in that, because our ultimate aim is to raise our voice,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we always end the interview off on the same question. What advice would you give to the current generation of high school students that would like to make a positive impact on society? And how specifically would you recommend they start this process?
uh, this is my personal view. People can disagree with that,
Mm-hmm.
but most of the people in this world, trying to fit themselves according to the books,
Right.
according to the libraries.
Mm-hmm.
This writer said this thing, and this person quoted this thing, so I'm going to follow this quotation. So I think you are beyond the books. Your knowledge, your capacity is beyond the books, which is not written somewhere. And please explore that, and don't follow anything. Just follow your heart. Make your own ideas. Make your own ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your idea is going to change this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think no need to follow me. I never recommend people to please follow me. No, you can do the best. You can do the better than me for that. Yeah. So first think, sit with the people, meet many people, understand their mindsets, you know, and tell them what you are thinking about this world,
Mm-hmm.
and then decide what exactly you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you want to do, don't do for the people, do it for yourself. Make yourself happy by your work,
Yeah.
because if you are not happy with your work, then you can't spread happiness. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be happy with your work. If you are happy, then you will definitely, spread happiness in this world.
Of course. Yeah.
This is my message.
Of course. Thank you. And
Thank
personally, I really resonate with that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you for coming on our Company Roots interview today.